exhausted from the 2 days of a wonderful conference, but this guy's going to speak in English. So I invite you to start by standing up, please. Everybody, on your feet. Okay, got to shake it out. Shake out the day. Get ready for me, okay? If you're all the way at the back, come forward a little bit. Can't see you back there. Okay, so you're all kind of buddied up a little bit. I'd like you to look at somebody next to you and shake hands with them. If you don't know them, introduce yourselves. Okay, get used to the idea. All right, now, shake your legs, shake your arms. Look a little silly in front of your new friends. Now, I want you to look at the person next to you and greet them as if they're your favorite cousin that you haven't seen for 5 years. This is a test of your character now, okay? Please, introduce. Very good, very good. You too, much better. Come on, you can do much better than that. Your favorite cousin. All right. Thank you very much. You may sit. Thank you, thank you. Ah, very good, thank you. So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Stewart, and I am English. I live in Cascais, where nobody speaks Portuguese, really. Everybody speaks English. Sorry about that. And I'm learning Portuguese. My wife is much better than I am. We've been here a year now, and I have my first business here, Canopy Lisbon. My background, I'm 44. I sold my first company 4 years ago, and I've been involved in selling 3 others since then. I've built technology ecosystems in Bangalore and Boston, in Exeter in the UK, and now here in Lisbon. I was involved with a company called Fabrica de Startups at the first 6 months of last year, which some of you may have heard of. And that's how I learned a little bit about being in Portugal. And I'm here because I love Portugal. I'm here because I love the warmth of the relationships as much as the warmth of the weather. And I'm here because it's a very exciting time for Portugal in terms of startups. When I did the technology ecosystems in Bangalore and Boston, I built things called tech hubs simultaneously over an 18-month period while not living in either country. And I did a thing called bootstrapping, which 98% of all the startups here in Portugal will be doing right now. So I'm going to illustrate that by telling you about the story of Canopy itself, which has been open in Lisbon for just 6 weeks. The pictures that you see over there are the team that I'm blessed to be working with. This team is a mongrel, a mutt, if you will, of nationalities. So I am the English and I am the oldest. Luis is the Portuguese and he is a few years younger than me. Santosh is from India and he is 26. And Cecile is from the Netherlands and she is 25. All of us have done at least one startup before. Cecile, the baby of the family, has raised over €1 million with her startup, did a 3-year journey and exited 6 months ago before coming here for Web Summit. She loved Lisbon so much that she decided to come back and she met me at lunch. We started talking, we ended up forming a team, and she's been living in Lisbon for just 2 months so far. And in that 2 months, she started this business with us. So in 6 weeks, we've hosted 19 events. We've got 34 members. We've taken a premises of 650 square meters in Lisbon near the Cais de Sodré. If you know the College Ethic, we're right on top of the College Ethic because we're working as an incubator and co-working for ideas that come out of Ethic. You'll see we have 378 likes on Facebook, and we've iterated our space. We've changed our space and added features 5 times in 6 weeks. How much do you think we have invested to get this far, this quickly, a team like this? How much would you spend to get 650 square meters near the Cais de Sodré on top of the timeout market? We're bootstrapping from zero. We're bootstrapping from revenues. If we don't bank cash, we can't spend it. If we don't bank cash, we have to put our hands in our pockets, literally, and get euros out. Somebody wants a spare set of keys for the building. Literally, if we haven't got the money in the bank, we have to get it out of our pockets. So we're starting from a €0 balance sheet. And this is what the startups in Portugal have to do. So have I done this before? Of course I've done it before. Would I be stupid enough to do it here if I hadn't done it before? No, I screwed this up loads of places. If you think about startups, really smart startups think of it as a race, particularly if they take other people's money, because it becomes an investment race. How quickly can you get back a multiple of money to the people that you borrowed it from? We're over here, idea and MVP. That's what we're doing, minimum viable product. After that comes seed funding, onto a Series A, through these stages to the point where you get some sort of exit over here. There aren't many exits in Portugal yet, so you don't know what it means. But when it happens, it makes a big difference to lots of people. It makes a big difference to you because you get some money. It makes a big difference to your family because you come home. It makes a big difference to the people around you because you spend that money. And when I did my first exit, I was lucky enough to do things like pay off our house and buy my wife a car and these kind of things, but also help my parents retire, my in-laws retire, these kind of things. And if you think about the average salary a Portuguese person earns, apparently I'm told, maybe you can validate, it's about 650 euros a month. Call it 8,000 euros a year. If you work for 50 years, how much is that? Just under 400,000 euros for a whole lifetime. In 5 to 7 years, a good startup person, usually on their third or fourth startup when they get this success, will deliver more than 3 times a lifetime's earning of an average person into their own pockets. This is what happens when exit happens. So it's nice to think of it as a straight line, but most startups don't really follow that. And the key thing to remember is that 9 out of 10 startups fail. And successful exits only really happen when you're on your third, fourth, or sometimes fifth. And usually the person who does it is in their 40s. But I actually did mine a little bit earlier. And so it's seen as a young person's game, but just dwell on this for a moment. 9 out of 10 startups fail. So I run a thing called an incubator and a co-working. What that means is if even your mum thinks you're crazy, you can come and see me. All right? And we give you a nice place to hang out. Well, it's a little rough around the edges. And we help you bootstrap your idea to prove it. Now think about it. I've got no money in the bank. I've got 3 great co-founders. If I don't sell space or services, what happens? What happens when the man comes to ask me for the rent? What happens? I go bankrupt. Is bankruptcy a popular thing in Portugal? Do you like bankruptcy? Do you think my wife likes it if I come home bankrupt? She's not that keen on it. Okay, so what happens if I sell stuff, but I can't pay the rent quite? I'm still bankrupt, right? Or I have to get it out of here. My wife also does not like that. Okay. So imagine you've got no money and you want to go and get a lease. How does that work? If I come to you for a lease, even 650 square meters, smallest space we've ever opened, how do I get a lease out of you? Yeah? Makes no sense, right? Make your landlord a shareholder. Then it starts to make sense. We actually found a very nice set of landlords, very smart people who believe in what we're doing, and they've become a shareholder of our company. And they've given us a lease where, let's say this is the commercial rent, and this is how much we pay. But we also give them a share of what we make above that. Now I have a lease. Still haven't spent any money, and I've got a smaller target to make before I'm actually not bankrupt. When people bootstrap, they do things differently. They don't take 500,000 and systematically structured, spend it over time to try and make things work. They find new ways to do things. How do you think I paid for furniture in our space? Because people have to sit on chairs, right? I've got no money. How would you do it? How would you do it?
Partnership with IKEA.
Partnership with IKEA. Do you know how many people ask IKEA for partnerships? Oh my God. Okay. How would you do it? How would you pay? Let's say it's about 10,000.
Borrow something.
Borrow something. Yes. Beg, borrow, steal, cajole, accidentally put it into your place. Yeah. Or, as I did it, sell the space without any furniture in it. It's going to cost me to put the furniture in, so don't sell it with furniture. Why not? So you move in, you pay a slightly smaller rent, but there's no furniture in it. You bring your own. The first guy to move in brought his own desk and lent it to me when he went on holiday so we could use it for somebody else. When we opened in Bangalore, I opened an empty room in Bangalore with a sign on the wall that said, "If not now, then when?" The Deputy High Commissioner for Bangalore described us as the most exciting thing to happen for startups in India in that year. Indian dignitaries, the Duke of York, all sorts of people came and looked at our space, and I toured these dignitaries, an empty room with no desks, no chairs, not even a Wi-Fi connection. And we sold the whole space in 3 days. This is how startups do things. So, if 9 out of 10 things fail, this is a pretty weird place, right? At the heart of startup ecosystems are these 3 things: money, lots of money, talent, and ideas, or problems. Portugal has all these things going on right now in lots of different ways. But you have to have these three things. Then you need these things to enable you. What was the last thing you failed at? What was the last thing you failed at? In Portugal, just as in India, it's a very difficult subject. We don't just believe in the acceptance of failure. We believe in the celebration of it. That it's a good thing. So one of the things that happens in bootstrapping is your money lasts only this long, and it lasts long enough that you can keep changing until your customer buys stuff. If you fail, it means you weren't trying to sell the right thing, and you've got to fail really quickly, and you've got to do it again and again and again until you finally sell stuff. So we have to celebrate failure because it's getting us closer to the point where we're going to succeed. Go figure. Okay? But the whole of Portugal needs to start celebrating failure. The failure that people have, because they're only going to make it big on their third or their fourth startup, okay? So people have got to screw some stuff up along the way. Oh, my butt is clicking. Hang on. Right, easy tax systems. I won't go into that, but basically in the UK, when I sold my business, I paid 10% tax on all the money I made, up to a lifetime allowance of 10 million. It's a really cool system. It means you get to keep most of the money you make, and it means you gamble in building a business rather than taking money out along the way. It means you do it fast because you can make much more money and pay much less tax when you do that. It needs serendipity and it needs exits. Okay, what do I mean by serendipity? What do you think? Serendipity is luck. Luck, luck, luck. The unknown, the informal, the seemingly inconsequential things that happen when you put lots of people together in various ways. And if you look back at my team, we have a Dutch, an Indian, a Portuguese, and an English. How the hell did these people meet? It's like a bad joke in a bar, right? But serendipity brought us together. In fact, lunch brought us together, a fine Portuguese lunch. Serendipity happens when you have lots of people thinking about things at the same time. When you have spaces like ours, near the Caixa Sodré, with restaurants and bars and things all around it, and all these casual networks of students, of politicians, of people like Web Summit who moved in around the corner. It's where innovation is fostered. Because when you do something innovative, you bring something new and not necessarily understood to an uncertain world in an uncertain way. And you don't do it by planning it for ages. You do it by getting on with it. And you do it sometimes by just sheer fluke. How big do you think our business plan is? 20 pages, 30 pages? Really well considered, really well thought through, really well reviewed. Our bank manager's seen it. Or do you think it's half of a page? Because I'm going to change it tomorrow and I'm going to change it the week after and I'm going to keep changing it until my customers buy enough stuff that I can reliably say I know what I'm doing, even though I've done this 5 times before. Because failure is good, and I know it's going to happen because 9 out of 10 startups fail, and everything I assumed about selling our services and stuff in Portugal was wrong. Everything I got wrong. I felt that people would move into our space because of the amazing people that would mentor them. I felt that they would move in because they loved the international dimensions of what we were doing. They moved in for price and location. Everybody then started to follow them, was interested in mentoring and the exciting international links, but right at the beginning they moved in because we were near the timeout market. Go figure. All right, am I done? Yeah. So that is me. I would invite you to come and see Canopy. I would also invite you to just think that Portugal has an amazing opportunity right now because you don't need any money to make an exciting startup. And we will help you if you want, and there are lots of other people, 120 incubators in Portugal that will. But this is genuinely, there has never been a better time to be an entrepreneur in Portugal than now. There's never been a better time to raise money in Portugal for being a startup than now. And it is the opportunity that everybody has. There is no discrimination of any kind in this field. This is the time. And there are 2 years. The whole of Portugal has 2 more years to think about this and get on with it. Thank you very much.